Get ready for some rock and roll. You're going to have fun on Wieden You this morning. Hi, everybody. Glad to have you along with us today. Have you ever heard of the Million Dollar Quartet? And you know who those people were? I've got some people here in the studio. I have, in air quotes, Elvis Presley, and I have Johnny Cash, and I have the producer up in Memphis, Sam Phillips, who made all those people famous. So I got two people. So you guys are going to do a little strumming while I talk with your producer, Sam, for a minute to explain what we're doing here. So, all right, everybody. And by the way, if you want to call us up, you know the number is 888-808-8637. The text line is 601-879-4395. And you can watch us, supertalk.fm/Mary. So, because we're going to be live streaming here in 1 second. All right, everybody. So you guys, you producers, you performers, Elvis and Johnny, you go do a little tune while I talk with the producer, Sam Phillips, over here. Okay, and this has to do with, this is big stuff. All right, Sam Phillips, not really Sam Phillips. Your name is Chris Blisset.
That's me.
And you've been here before.
I have. I was here for the Johnny Cash musical we did a year and a half ago. Nice of you to have us here, have us on the air.
Yeah. So this is at New Stage.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are the you're the music director and
I'm playing Sam Phillips, the father of rock and roll. Well, yes, ma'am.
Do you talk about that in the play? Or I don't call it a play. Is it a play?
Yeah, you can think of this as a play with music more than you could think of it as a musical. Sam Phillips, he quite discovered the sound of the mid-20th century. I mean, not only did he find the people that are in this play, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, he also discovered Roy Orbison. Oh. His studio gave rise to people like B.B. King. He didn't sign B.B. King, but
he liked Mississippi people. It seems like
he truly did.
A few Mississippi people mentioned in there.
Yeah, so this is a guy who helped create the DNA of our zeitgeist. And on one particular night, December 4th, 1956, he had those four great geniuses in his studio at one time and took one of the most famous pictures of the century. And this show is about wondering if what happened if they sat down and played the Christmas show that day.
Yeah, and did they?
They played many songs. They sang a lot of gospel songs together that day and a few of their own songs. But at the holiday season, you kind of want to hear something special. And Elvis in particular left behind some great Christmas music, and the great Colton Sims is going to give you a little taste of Elvis's rendition of Blue Christmas.
Yeah, all right, go ahead, do it. You want to do it now, or wait for a little bit? Well, Colton, where are you from? Let's just tell the audience. Where are you from originally?
I am from Stone Mountain, Georgia, originally.
And where do you live now?
Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Oh,
that's where
okay.
I'm based, but thankfully, thank God I've been working, so I've been, traveling a lot, which is great.
So how old were you when you started doing Elvis, or was this like a lifelong thing when you were a little kid? You said, I want to be like that.
So I had like a bunch of family members who loved Elvis and stuff, and you would always hear his music even when you didn't even know who it was. But I had a special needs cousin who was like super into Elvis. Like she had a cutout of him in a room of him in like the gold suit. I was like, who's this handsome guy? And then I heard him, and my uncle is also like super obsessed with him as well. He has like a bunch of memorabilia in his house. But no, the first time I did Elvis, it was actually earlier this year. I did a show called Elvis: A Musical Revolution, and it's like a story all about his life and stuff. And so that was super fun. I mean, I had to like dye my hair black and get a spray tan and stuff. So that was crazy.
Yeah, you don't look like him yet.
Not yet. Yeah, come see the show.
Then you'll say you did.
It's a transformation. This guy's going to be a star, but he transforms himself into a star each night for a New Stage theater.
You don't go around saying "wanna wappa." You don't do that. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. Have you ever been to Graceland?
I've been to the gates, and I've like seen the house, and I've signed my name on the wall. Because the tour is kind of expensive, but I dream about it. But I've been to Sun Records where all this has happened.
My late husband and I took some exchange students from Europe up to see Graceland one year when they were visiting, one from Germany, one from Sweden, and I'd never been up there either to Graceland. And I said, I think we're going to have an extremely Americana experience here, and it is. I mean, you go in there, it's like, oh my God, it's a time warp. Oh, yeah. I was never an Elvis fan, but when I came out there, I was crying because. First of all, you get to see all these uniforms. Oh my God, it's fabulous, and you get to see the safari room and all these these decorations that are like you're in the 50s or 60s, but they're all buried in the back, so it makes you cry. But it's fabulous to see because it's you can't qualify the word unique, but this is completely unique. Anyway, go ahead. If you ever get a chance, that'd be funny if you went up there and started singing Elvis. Are you gonna do? What do you want to do for us right now? Do you want to do Blue Christmas? All right, you go hit it.
All right. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations are red on a green Christmas tree. Won't be the same, dear, if you're not here with me. That's when those blue memories start calling. That's when those blue snowflakes start falling. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas so white, but I'll have a blue, 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 blue Christmas.
Yay, Elvis! Where's our audience? We need.
Hey, well done.
Yeah. Elvis. Now we got to move over to Johnny Cash. Welcome, Johnny Cash.
Hello.
Who's been on the show before? Trevor Craft. Is your Craft, right?
Craft.
You were on the show before, right?
I did not get to come last time. No,
okay.
so Red was here, and then another Mississippi royalty, Jen Smith, was here singing songs as well.
But where are you from originally, and where do you live now?
I grew up mostly in Charlottesville, Virginia, and right now I'm based in Pittsburgh.
Wow, you're a long way from home.
I am.
So, when did you get intrigued with Johnny Cash?
Well, probably when this opportunity first came around. I've always loved Johnny Cash, like Folsom Prison Blues. I knew.
Yeah.
I Walked the Line. I knew. I remember the first time I listened to it. I was kind of haunted by it. I just never heard anything like it. And then when this show came around, the opportunity, Red directed me. We were at a theater called Shadowland Stages, and as soon as I started to do a little bit more background deep dive on Johnny Cash, I found out how good a person he was and how deep an artist he was, and he's been a huge inspiration for me since.
And you do other people in your normal, or you use strictly Johnny Cash in your performances?
So I have actually performed as Elvis. I've performed as Johnny. I've understudied Carl Perkins, the guitar player. And then W.S. Holland, or Fluke, is the name of the drummer. He's a real person who toured with Johnny Cash for years and years and was Carl Perkins' drummer. So I've played as him as well.
But on opening night, he's going to go on as Diane, just so you know.
There's a change.
Elvis's girlfriend, I get to sing a couple, Santa Baby, beautiful songs like that. It's going to be great.
Very excited.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Well, I have to tell a Carl Perkins story. I was telling you guys this long ago and far away when I did talk radio at another station. This guy came up the stairway one day, and I didn't know what I was doing on the show. I don't remember what I was doing that day. But anyway, he came up the stairs and goes, "Hi, I'm Carl Perkins to be on the show with Mary." I said, "Oh, well, I'm Mary. Hi, welcome aboard." I go, "Oh, my God, I forgot. I didn't remember booking him or anything about him. I just knew that it was Carl Perkins' Blue Suede Shoes. That's what I could remember." And so he came in. We did a great show. I don't know what we talked about other than Blue Suede Shoes. But, that was like, oh, so embarrassing. But anyway, when you forget, it's one thing to forget somebody who's not real famous, but when you forget a luminary like that. But anyway, so all right, Johnny Cash, what you gonna sing for us?
I'm going to sing Ring of Fire.
Okay, go ahead.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Pick it for me.
These guys are so good.
Oh, the taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. And I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Audience going again, everybody there, audience, whoever you are. We must have an audience sound effects around here. They're really good, you guys. And by the way, if you all were listening, you were hearing some music, like some crooning in the background, tune, melody, whatever. What's the word? Harmony.
Yeah, background vocals.
Yeah, background stuff. Yeah. Well, it was Sam. And it was Elvis. In real life, did they do that with each other? These guys, did they perform together much?
They did a lot of bills together, but not sharing. They shared the stage one at a time. As what little of it I know about, they usually had the Jordanaires out there singing backup for them. These great guys in plaid coats doing all their oohing and eyeing.
Yeah, there was a period later on where there would be a lot more collaboration. Like Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash were lifelong friends, and Jerry Lee Lewis would go on stage with Carl sometimes or with Johnny, but Elvis kind of became isolated.
I was going to say, Elvis kind of stuck by himself, huh? Mm-hmm. Did you see the recent movie about Elvis?
I did.
What did you think?
I think that definitely kickstarted the obsession because, like, I don't know, Elvis has always been a presence, you know.
Yeah, in your life.
Yeah, he's an icon. And then I was working at a movie theater when the movie came out, so like anytime that I wasn't sweeping popcorn or cleaning a bathroom, I was in there watching the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, so it was super cool. I saw it so many times in the theater. My ex-girlfriend actually, she was like, "You're obsessed," and it's becoming too much.
And I can make some money off of it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look what I'm doing. Heck yeah.
Pretty good gig.
Oh yeah.
Do you travel a lot?
I've been to like many places in the Southeast. The farthest north I've been to work is Ohio. But yeah, no, all of my Elvis gigs have been. Oh, actually, no, I went as far as Arizona. That's where I just played Elvis recently, and that was super fun.
Somebody writes in, they said, those guys are great. No auto-tune, smooth.
Actually, I'm fully auto-tuned. That was an AI performance that I just did.
Okay.
No. That's so kind.
I forgot to mention. I'm an AI. Forgot.
No, that's very kind. And then also, they're right. They're highlighting that like this was an era where everything about these guys was just as authentic as possible, and they were just being themselves, behind the microphones, and that's the magic.
There's the guy. He just passed away recently who lived here in Jackson, and he was he had perfect pitch.
Oh yeah.
And he would often go to Nashville and check everything out before the master tapes or master recordings were laid down. Because if there was he could tell if something was one little note was a little tweaky off, he could tell that. And you're like, whoa, yeah, that's awesome that somebody could do that. But that's not the same as auto tune. I don't.
No, not the same.
I don't guess. So exactly, what are you doing at New Stage? How does it open up, and what happens in the story?
Well, we open on December 4th. By the way, we're opening in just a couple days. In fact, we have a pay what you can night on the 4th.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, guys. Today's the 3rd.
Well,
but we find them. There's an original show. There's Million Dollar Quartet where they kind of get together and they go over a lot of. Johnny and Carl are leaving the label. He's sold Elvis some years ago. Jerry Lee is the new kid, and this advances on that. They explore some of the issues of loyalty and betrayal. They explore some of the issues of the familial bond that you form when you're working together.
So you're talking as actors. I mean, they're talking parts.
Oh, absolutely. There's some scenes. It's a show for the whole family. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, go ahead. I just wanted to.
No, we cover a lot of that. You're talking about friendships and how they cross over in business, and at the same time exploring some of the important themes of redemption at Christmas.
Who was the oldest of the bunch?
Johnny.
Johnny was?
Which you can kind of feel. That's one of the things that I think Colton and I specifically have talked a lot about is it's fun to explore the dynamic between these guys and how there's this kind of brotherhood and that they were all sort of isolated in this life of this like stardom. Elvis was one of the first like
guys to build
worldwide
it, yeah.
stars, and so as all of their stars rose, it kind of brought them closer, and you really feel a lot of that like brotherly dynamic, and there's a lot of that, like Red was saying, like very family centered.
Which I said you would honestly feel more in this show than
in the
regular MDQ,
Yeah.
especially between Elvis and Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Elvis the first one to do everything?
Oh, yeah,
to
for sure.
To set the pace.
Yeah.
He set the pace. And then where were you at the time, Johnny? Were you in prison?
Johnny was
he
so he
out?
never actually served time in prison. He was jailed, I think, once for picking flowers at 3:00 in the morning with a bunch of pills in his pocket.
I love that.
Yeah, but no. So John was also, he had just left Sun Records, and he was also beginning to become incredibly popular as well. So he was charting not only in the country charts but in the pop charts too. Like "Walk the Line" was this crossover hit, which was kind of the only other person to have done that was Carl Perkins.
So, and Elvis, what was Elvis's first big hit?
His first big hit was "That's All Right, Mama," and
Who wrote that? I wonder.
oh my God.
Well, I'm not sure who wrote it,
I didn't
but
mean
it was
to stump you, but no.
no, but it was
Really?
popularized. I mean, this is
Oh,
worth saying though. That it was popular. It was
Yeah.
originally sung.
What do you?
Well, Big Mama Thornton, right?
Well,
that
she
was
did
a-
Hound Dog.
That was Hound
She's
Dog.
a hound dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
okay.
was something.
Lance, do you have
Crud.
Google back there? Would you look this up for us?
Yeah, well,
We don't have Google. What is it that you want me to
No,
find? I
too.
can find it.
Mama
in
Thornton.
Who wrote "That's All Right, Mama"?
oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah, he can do that. He can find that out. He'll Google
We
that.
can't afford
Elvis
Google.
Presley
on that.
sang it, and let's see who wrote it. Okay.
Kesha? That's so weird.
Arthur Crudup. That's who it was.
Arthur who?
Crudup.
Oh, I've not heard of it.
Arthur
I was
Crudup
confusing
is in
Hound Dog.
1946. It was recorded, written around that time by Arthur Crudup. So
Anybody heard of Arthur Crudup? Before?
He was in the Elvis movie. That's right. Yeah.
He was?
I was like, I remember the last name. I was like, oh, what
Oh,
is
really?
it? Yeah. No,
Wow.
there was like a little scene, but
Well, we're going to take a break here. That's music coming not from you all. That's coming from Lance over there, and the computer, which will take us away. So we'll be back. We have quote unquote Elvis, Johnny Cash, and their big producer from Memphis, Sam Phillips. We'll be right back on Mary Wieden You.
he's so good.
Book that guy.
Yeah, this is me.
Yes, but I thought, just like you. Wow, welcome back to Mary Wieden You. Well, that's Elvis, but I got Elvis and Johnny Cash in the studio. What? How is that possible? I have Trevor Craft, who is Johnny Cash, and Colton Sims, who is Elvis, and they're sitting right here. And so do a little bit of that, and then we're going to do some business about this, because y'all are going to be at New Stage, and it starts tomorrow, the 4th, and we're going to do some business, tell people how they can see you all at the Million Dollar Christmas.
Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right with you. That's all right, Mama. Just any way you do. That's all right. That's all right. And that's all right now, Mama. Any way you do.
Yeah,
You
all
see what I
righty.
get to work with? Every
Yeah.
single day I get to
For
work
you.
with these guys.
And this man is Red Blisset, and
That's
Red,
me.
You're the music director of the play.
Yes, ma'am.
And you don't even live here, but you come here all the time.
Well, every time they
We love
call,
it.
I come. Listen, I've worked 45 states, Canada and England. I've done 190 contracts. I know the special places when they call. I come running.
Wow. Okay, so now this is starting tomorrow at New Stage Theater.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's called Million Dollar Christmas
Yes, ma'am.
because these guys really did a $1 million Christmas picture, but
Yeah, that's right.
photograph.
Yeah, they were all photographed at the same piano together, and
Yeah.
it sparked a lot of things, including this show.
And so, all right, what are the dates?
So we open tomorrow. We open on the 4th. And tomorrow, if there are any tickets left, you happen to be able, if you show up an hour early, you can name your price and pay what you like. But we run from the 4th through the 22nd. There are some matinees if you want to check it out. Come to newstagetheater.com. That's theater, R-E, newstagetheater.com.
Yes.
And get the tickets. Tickets are around $50, but we have discounts for seniors, students, and military because we're not sociopaths. But honestly, this is something you can bring the whole family to. They can put their phones down, put the TikTok away, and stop and enjoy something together as a family.
Isn't that an odd notion?
I know. Remember the 20th century when we looked each other in the eye?
No, I got. Where's your picture? Something like that. Anyway, so you are Sam Phillips, and
Yes, ma'am.
all right, guys, what do we want to do now? We did the business part of, and I hope that it's really crowded. By the way, and what's the latest you can come and get in for free?
Well,
There's any
they
room, there won't be
advise
any
that you
room.
come in an hour early tomorrow night if you want to name your price.
What time? What time are the usuals? We got Mia. Do you know?
So the show's at
At what time?
The show starts at
Okay, 7 p.m. Okay.
So if you show up at 6 or 6:30, you might be able to say, "I only want to pay $4 today," and that would be a cash price. But we're trying to get everybody in the room that we can. This is a special show, and we want everyone in town to see it.
Wow. By the way, somebody sends us this note. I was talking about the man who has passed away, who lived in this area with perfect pitch. His name was Jerry Puckett. Somebody wrote in perfect pitch musician. You were talking about Jerry Puckett.
Perfect pitch.
Yes,
Perfect pitch Puckett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Careful now, we're on the radio.
We love alliteration.
A new
don't we?
warm-up.
Yeah, we love alliteration, right?
Let me say out there though, anybody that has a doubt about this show, if you think maybe you'll like it but you're not sure, I'm the redheaded guy. You buy a ticket, you don't like the show, I'll pay you back myself.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think
really
so either, but come get me. Let's see what happens.
So, guys, what?
Oh, super cool thing about tomorrow, though, if you want to come to the show, it's like the anniversary of the actual event happening, and we're opening on that night, which is super sick. So it's just like
It's really exciting.
another reason to come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the actors are pretty stoked about that. To get to do this on the anniversary of it feels very special.
And what will you be wearing? Elvis, what are you going to wear?
Oh gosh, the costumers did such an amazing job.
They did a really good job.
Really?
So I'm in this like brown, multi-striped, pinstriped shirt with my collar like popped up, covering up the neck, and then I got a sick little gold watch on with these like baggy, similar to the pants that I'm wearing now actually, with these brown loafers that I'm able to like slide around in.
He looks about as cool as a human being can look. I'll put it
What
that
can
way.
I say?
So how's your hip movement? How do your hips go? You doing pretty good?
These hips don't lie. Sister. It's gonna be some
comment. Trevor, you play Johnny Cash. What color did they put you in
I
for
can't
your
imagine
costume?
that.
But listen, let's talk about it. Neon green. No, they put me in classic Johnny Cash black, which is
You have a black shirt on today.
I do.
in fact.
I tend to wear a lot of black as well. I very much identify with Johnny that way. But yeah, it's a beautiful black outfit. And I got a little red trim on my shirt because it's Christmas. But it's a lot of fun. We at the end of the show, if you do get to come and see the show, I recommend sticking around. There's kind of a little surprise at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And you might see a different look. You might hear some different songs. There's just, right when you think it's over, I promise it's not over, and there's more fun to be had.
That's right.
Oh, they do good stuff down at New Stage, folks. Well, you know that one.
Wow, they do great material. I love it.
New
there.
Stage is a very special place. Like it truly is. Everyone there is passionate about the work that they do.
Mm-hmm.
They truly service their community. It's the kind of theater that, as an actor, I'll come running anytime I get an opportunity because I think they do great work for a great reason as well. And that shows in the audiences, the people that showed up. So like I said, I was in Ring of Fire last year, and the people that showed up were just so kind and just,
Terrific.
Yeah, theaters this size are
that.
closing all over the country
Tell
too.
me about that. What's going on there?
Well, it's a lot of it is a post-pandemic academic scenario, but most of financial scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But most of it is that it's financially impossible to keep a theater this size open. Mm-hmm. It takes a community to respond to that theater and to throw in a little bit of extra, just to donate annually when that to do a tax-deductible donation, to buy a ticket, to volunteer, to
Subscription
service the house
are
management.
huge.
Great discounts for subscriptions. That's the only way to keep the cultural heart of this community alive. Is to
And
give
this is
back.
the only one in Mississippi. This is the only stage like this. Not even up by Memphis. My goodness, they're growing pretty fast up there.
I don't work.
Take away,
The only
but-
time I work at Mississippi, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to New Stage people, so
good.
I'm not sure about the population of theaters in this, but they are closing all over the country.
Dang.
It's true.
And we need them.
Are we in good shape, Mia? Are we in pretty good shape? I think so. New Stage. Yeah, glad to hear that New Stage is in great shape. Guys, you want to sing some more? You can sing some more if you want to. Oops, that was a surprise.
What should we
We
do?
can do whatever you did before. If people missed the first part of the show, you're certainly welcome to do
Want
that.
to do Folsom?
God rest you.
Oh,
God
Folsom.
rest you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Folsom Prison Blues? You want to do that?
This is a lovely traditional Christian Christmas number that they bothered to Johnny Cash up and
Absolutely.
and it delights everyone.
It's very Johnny Cash. Ready?
Okay.
Do you want to play this one?
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. For Jesus Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we've gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy, tidings of comfort and joy. From God our Heavenly Father, a blessed angel came and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy, tidings of comfort and joy.
Whoa, very good. And yeah, so you each got to do a solo, yes, and you so they're doing good, aren't they?
These guys are the best. I think Colton Sims
And
is
you've
a
never
star.
worked together until this, right? You two guys.
Nope.
Yeah, no, this is our first time.
First time working together. No, it won't be our last. Fortunately,
yeah.
the community that does Million Dollar Quartet, it feels like a family.
For sure.
So we'll see each other again.
But the characters interact with each other. Do you say, "Hey guys, well look at this. Well, here we are." Blah blah blah. How does that work? What is that part like?
We
of the
have
play?
an amazing scene in the show. Not to give too much away,
Well,
but
that's okay. That's okay.
But so Elvis at this point is like, so his arc in the story is like, oh, I'm drafted and like I'm going into the army and so he confides in Johnny, in this really cool scene where you get a sense of like brotherhood between them, because between these guys in the quartet, those two are kind of like the only ones who have that similar sense of like how much they've made it at the time. I would say like more than the other guys could relate to. And so yeah, no, that's a very beautiful scene, and then we end up singing "Silent Night" right afterwards, and it's a very beautiful, all of it.
All the characters together. You sing it.
Yeah, we get to. It starts
great.
as a nice little like duet moment between the two of us, and,
Yeah.
and turns into a whole group number. It's really pretty.
Oh,
I really love that they have that moment together. Of the four of them, they're the only two who served, and I think it's.
I didn't realize Johnny Cash did. I knew we all.
He was
knew
in the
Elvis.
Air Force,
Every picture you see is a picture of Elvis. Is that where he met?
Priscilla?
Yeah.
Yes.
In Germany, and she was an American child military brat, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
And however
The rest
that
is
happened. Who
history.
knows?
Yeah.
Have you either of you guys or any of you guys ever met the families of these people? Because they're all gone now, but I guess there's nobody alive. Jerry Lee Lewis, is he still?
He's passed. He passed
Not
a
so
few years
long.
ago.
How many?
I want to say
2022.
Oh yeah, not so. Yeah, a couple
he
of years
was
ago.
he was the last standing of the four. I have not gotten to make any connection with anyone. Although I will say this, I had a funny experience where last year, after we finished Ring of Fire, which is a show entirely of Johnny Cash music, I was driving up back to Michigan with one of my castmates, and as we're driving up through Arkansas, we see a sign for Johnny Cash's childhood home. And we're like, no way. We had no idea it was there. So we pulled off and we stopped and we, just kind of stood and took it in and the Arkansas flatness and we sang a little song and just that's about as close as I've gotten. But it was very spiritual almost to be there.
How about you, Colton?
I drove to Memphis for like an audition where I went to Sun Records, but on the way back I drove through Tupelo where Elvis was born.
Yeah.
So I missed the tour, but I got to stand outside his little
Little
house and his
little-
church on the hill
yeah.
and stuff. But one cool thing, actually, so I met a lady who had dinner with Elvis at my last contract when I did MDQ. She sat down and she talked about how he didn't like put on this show. He was like kind of shy and reserved, and he was into this thing called numerology at the time. And he
Occultish.
wrote her name on like a napkin and stuff, which she ended up losing or something. She was like, if I knew, like when I was moving. But yeah, he wrote her name down with numbers and like told her about what it meant and everything like that. And they just talked, and I thought that was a really cool
Very
story to
cool.
hear.
He
Yeah.
was a regular guy.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody says that he was the truck driver, and how he got from there up to Sam Phillips, I don't know. But he was a very humble guy, and he didn't really know how to deal with his fame necessarily. That's what got him into drugs apparently, and shooting up between his toes and weird things like that. He didn't want to defile his body and all these sorts of things like that. But he was a regular guy who just like, whoa, he had no concept of what he was creating.
There was no like guideline for being that famous at that point in the world. There just wasn't. He was one of the first to be that famous.
And it's a kind of fame we don't have access to. He was famous at a time when there were 100 famous people. Like fame was not what it is now, where you can become famous out of your own living room now.
Right, just
Instagram famous,
call
as they
yourself
like to
a
call it.
podcaster, and you'll be.
Even in the late 20th century, we did not have a yardstick to measure the kind of celebrity Elvis in particular enjoyed.
And how about Johnny Cash? Was he enamored with it all, or took it all in, or?
Yeah, Johnny had such an interesting career because he was really, really famous in the 50s. He was famous in the 60s, kind of with the folk scene. 70s and 80s, his star dwindled a little bit, but then he had this like revivification of his career in the 90s. with producer Rick Rubin.
Is that signaling the end?
Got a little Johnny Cash for you coming
hear it.
out.
I love it.
While he was a little older, I love this cut.
Oh, yeah.
Are you playing that, or is that the break time?
Oh, it's just break time.
Oh, okay, because they got to go, because we said you want to be out here by around 9:45,
That's
right?
perfect. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys. Really,
Oh, my
you're
gosh.
terrific.
Thanks for having us.
Have a wonderful show. Okay, it's at New Stage. Million Dollar Christmas starts tomorrow, the 4th, goes through the 22nd. 7 p.m. are the normal performances, but there can be some matinees in there as
Just
well.
go to newstagetheater.com. That's theater R-E, and I assure you, we will not let you down with this show.
Yeah, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks
Merry
for coming.
Christmas. Merry
See ya.
Christmas.
There ain't no easy.
Well, weren't those guys particularly good? Wow, what a way to wake up, huh? Million Dollar Christmas down at New Stage starts tomorrow through the 22nd. It's about a time that happened exactly on the 4th of December. And what year, I didn't catch what year it happened, but anyway, up at Sun Records, it was Elvis, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins. That's the name of the Blue Suede Shoes guys. And they were just all there at the time. And so, but these performances are fabulous, folks. I hope you make it to the show, because you can't miss it. They're all really wonderful. Don't you think so, Lance? I mean, those guys
The nicest folks, too.
Very.
I mean,
yeah.
you carry that amount of talent around with you. And you think there may be some assumptions that people are supposed to open a door for you or carry your guitar case. No. These are down-to-earth, amazing, and talented musicians, and obviously actors as well.
Absolutely, and the music director who kind of was like the MC for us today, Chris Blisset is his name. Chris Blisset. He is the music director, and he plays Sam Phillips, who owns Sun Records. And he said he's been here like 190 times. He loves New Stage. We're the only one for miles around, and he said he didn't do names or anything, but a lot of theaters have had to close around the country. We're not. We're in good shape, and that's wonderful. New Stage does some great stuff. I saw a couple of years ago. It was The Sound of Music. My gosh, it was just like the movie. And then it was a Friday night, and then that Sunday night I was surfing, and I came upon The Sound of Music, the movie with Christopher Plummer and Julie Andrews, and it looked exactly like their sets here were exactly like that. It was really, really well done. Now I've got to do some sobering news about dogs, and I hope I can hold myself together, but I am going to be losing my Heidi. I don't know when, a few weeks maybe. Hope we can make it through Christmas. Kidney disease. She's 12, and she's been a very vibrant dog. I have some new medications that I got yesterday to give her, one of which is you see a bag of juice suspended on an IV thing, and you're supposed to pump from the juice. Well, I'll get to be a veterinarian, I guess. I have a large set of needles, and I'm supposed to put one of those in her ruff and then hook it up to that thing and squeeze about, I don't know, from number 1 to number 2, however many milligrams that is, I don't know, and some other things. But she's doing okay, and that's good. And then what's really horrible, too, is that some people down the street who Heidi grew up with, a little Shih Tzu. They're both 12 years old. Lexi was 2 months older than my Heidi. They walked together for years and years, walking around our subdivision. Well, they lost their little sweetheart last night, and they're pretty shook up. Ugh. And we all are like, ugh, we're all just in tears and everything. But we know what's right to do for our dogs, and that'll be coming up soon. And if I'm not here some days, I'm going to have to send a memo to the people. If I should not be here, if anything happens, when I have to not be able to work. I am taking between Christmas and New Year's off anyway, but these next for 3 weeks, we don't know. So anyway, say a prayer for little Heidi, if you will. That would be really good. Now, let's talk about those god-awful people who are going to be in that Trump campaign, those terrible people. Oh, that Pete Hegseth, isn't he just an awful man? Honestly, you believe in all this stuff. He's terrible. Who else is terrible? Let's see. They hate Pete. Who else did they hate? Let's see. They don't hate Pam.
They don't like Kash Patel much.
Oh, right, Kash Patel. Oh.
Didn't like Matt Gaetz, and he's out of the race now.
Matt Gaetz, I didn't care for him, to tell you the truth. There was something spooky about that guy, sinister sort of. But Kash Patel is a good guy. Yeah, that old Kash Patel, he's terrible. He's gonna go snooping around and routing people out of there. They haven't gotten on to Pam Bondi yet. She's going to be the Attorney General. They haven't gotten her. But you know what? They lost, and they can't get over it. And I don't give much of a damn of what they say or what they think, because they lost so bad. And what we've had to put up with over the last 4 years because of those people, it's all disgusting. How we've survived is wonderful. And then everybody's now, the other side is on this whole business about the pardon of the great Hunter Biden. Ah, yes, the great Hunter Biden, the street junkie of our time. Honestly, he's such trash. I'm sorry, but I think they're all kind of trashy people. What I'm wondering is, do you think that Dr. Jill is going to get together with Melania and they're going to talk about saving the material from the tablecloths that match the curtains so we can make dresses that match, oh, Lord, the clothing that woman has worn? Not Melania, of course, Dr. Biden, who, she loves for people to think that she's a medical doctor. I mean, how many people thought she was a medical doctor? A lot of us did. She's not. She's a PhD in education, but she liked the idea, I think, of being a medical doctor. And she finally clarified that. I mean, they're so tacky. They ain't got no class. That's the trouble with those people. They ain't got no class. So here comes old Joe. No, I'm not going to pardon my son, blah, blah, blah. The law is to be reserved and preserved and respected, and that's not what we are, and blah, blah, blah. And what does he do? But now there's discussion about, well, okay, so those were federal. That was a federal pardon. But what about the state deals? Well, who knows? Hunter Biden, and I bet you, Hunter's been clean for 5 years. Right. I think it's been shorter than 5 years ago that somebody found some cocaine, isn't it, in the White House in the lobby someplace, and the FBI went over it for, I don't know, a couple minutes. They said, no, we don't know who did it. We don't know who did it. So that's been more recent than 5 years. I'll bet you when that pardon came down, old Hunter probably found himself some good stuff of some sort. I mean, really? Don't you think? Yeah, he ain't got no class, so no. I bet he found himself something.
It's a lot of, it's a lot worth speculating on how that all came down, because they were adamant against the pardon, and then obviously about 10 days before Hunter had to get sentenced, that changed dramatically to not just pardoning for things that we know existed, but for things that we don't even know he did.
No idea.
So yeah, it's interesting. I find that we've had that debate a bit, and you can understand the gun charge and maybe the taxation and a pardon, but pardoning someone over the business dealings that could deal with treason.
Yes.
And then
Russia,
what you did,
Ukraine.
and what you did to the guy that just got elected, who was the previous president. I'm curious what is all being pardoned. I don't think we'll ever know, but what are the charges what are the other things that we don't know that you're pardoning him from? I would like to know that, and I think the American people deserve an answer there. Even if he's pardoned, we should know, what are you pardoning?
Exactly.
What is it?
What did you did? What did you do that merited a pardon?
What is the one that we don't know about that you're?
Now, every time I think of him, I think of that famous picture where he's in a bathtub with his crack pipe. What do you think, people? That's where I got the idea of calling him the street junkie, because that's what he looks like. That's what he acted like.
Yeah, he's low class. That's for sure.
He ain't got no class. He can't even be low class if you ain't got no class. If you ain't got no class, then you're in bad shape. But I'm excited about all these people that got selected by Trump. I've seen Kash Patel on shows. Pam Bondi, I've seen her, and she's the one I was telling you the other day. She's now 60 years old. She's had a birthday. She looks like she's like 35 or something.
Yeah, she looks very vibrant.
And that's where I'd like to know who does her injectables. Give me that person's name. I'll go there.
Yeah, I have a theory a little bit on the Gates thing. I believe that he wanted to troll and put it out there. With the charges that have been against Gates, it looks like a honeypot sting that was set up to catch him, and then his dad was involved in an extortion deal. It seems to me like a very rigged setup against Gates. Now, again, I don't know every specific and whether he is guilty of whatever they claim or not. It looks like a federal sting where they've set him up, a honeypot deal. So it's almost like Trump knows that and threw him out there with hey, I'm just really going to mess with you.
Oh.
Because the person that I actually really want, there's no way if I do this first that you're going to not confirm her.
Yeah,
and Bondi's a much better choice.
Oh, yeah.
I like Gates for the standpoint of the trolling and almost throwing it out there in front of you, because he's so outspoken. And, he was almost like that guy that you said, he'll say anything. Let's put him out there. Like Mikey likes it. He'll eat anything.
Yeah.
Gates will say anything. So I found that to be almost that, humorous to see what he was going to stir up before you knew he couldn't get confirmed.
I never listened to him enough to know what that is. If I don't care for somebody, I'm not going to listen to him.
I've listened to him a lot on the floor. Really chastising and condemning certain things, and he is tough, man. I'm gonna tell you what. And I was surprised that more had not been attached to him, given his nature.
How come he gave up Congress? How come he gave up his seat in Congress? He got reelected.
That's a great question. I mean, I'm not sure. He probably would have been censured or removed at some point. But again, I mean, with Trump in now, and
Menendez is still in there, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know that guy. Woo.
Yeah, the money bot. Talking about money bot. Yeah, he's still in there. And but anyway, I mean, if Matt Gaetz is so great, and I did tell this, I guess maybe the last time I was here, because last Friday I was not, but that Matt Gaetz' district is the one that Joe Scarborough had at one time. It's in the Panhandle of Florida, because my parents used to talk about they had a congressman named Joe Scarborough because they moved to Niceville, and I don't know who was between Scarborough and Gaetz. Maybe nobody. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that
I don't
one.
know, but anyway, so they're on their own up there. They're doing just fine down there in terms of finances and everything. And by the way, Niceville, where my parents moved, that's got to be quite the place. It was a sort of a sleepy little place in the background of Destin, but now it's like, whoa, they've got some
boomed.
Oh my gosh, they've got some beautiful homes on places that were just nothing, and they have some beautiful
Ray
stuff.
Sansom was the person that was in front of Gaetz.
Oh, okay.
It looks like in the House.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah,
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to the hearings. I just can't wait to find out how they try to trash Kash Patel, because they're going to try to.
Well, they've started. They've already said he's not qualified.
Yeah, when you get him to talking, and I think he'd be like, what? No, yes, sir, Mr. Patel. Whatever you want to say, whatever works for you. All right, good show. Really enjoyed the music. Those guys are really good. It's a new stage starting tomorrow, folks. $1 Million Christmas. We'll be back on Friday. See you then.